This is my 2015 Toyota Tacoma XRunner. This is the Autohaus shop truck, and today we're going to go over another one of my weirdo vehicles. 2015 was the last year for the Tacoma XRunner, so the 14 and 15 XRunner was not available in the continental US. 2014 XRunner was only available in Canada and Hawaii. And then this particular guy, the 2015, was available in Hawaii only. Alright, so I'm in California. How did I end up with a non-Californian car? Or a car you couldn't get in the continental US? So, funny story, I was actually trying to buy a tow vehicle. So, long story short, under the Tundra keyword on Craigslist, a local small used car dealer listed this thing for sale. And at first when I saw it, I was like, 2015? Did they make an XRunner in this year? And when I found out that these came Hawaii only, being the weirdo and unreasonable person that I am, I had to have it. So this truck comes with the same V6 as every other Tacoma of this generation. It's a 4-liter V6, 236 horsepower, 266 foot-pounds of torque. The special with the XRunner, if you wanted a V6 6-speed manual in an access cab, you could only get it in XRunner trim. And so whenever I look this car up like on U-Haul or something, it's not available because you couldn't get a access cab V6 in I think that's right, access cab V6 in the continental US. So we'll go over some weird XRunner stuff, and we will also go over some modifications I've made with this guy. Alright, so some features that I like, and then also some interesting XRunner stuff. Immediately, the first thing people ask when they get in this truck is like, this thing stick? So yeah, 6-speed manual, reverse is where it first would be. The lockout is like this hard spring. I like the trans, it shifts well. I've done plenty of trips from NorCal to SoCal and back. Another thing I like, there's plenty of cup holders. I wish both of these were the same size to fit my thermos. I think my thermos only fits in this one. And then this must be for like a fancy water bottle. All I can fit is coins in this guy. There's also cup holders in the doors. I like that it's access cab. More storage space back here. You can reasonably fit 2 adults back here. I've sat back here before and I've had 4 people in this truck. It's actually not that bad. I like that the seat belts stow away, and then also these headrests can also stow away, so when someone's not sitting there, I can still see through the window. This opens up. I know on the Tundra this is like a power glass. That's really cool, but still, regardless, it's cool that this thing opens up. Maybe when I have a dog, this will come in use because I never opened this up. There's 2 storage trays under here. This is usually where I keep like my tie downs. There's the spare tire stuff, and then the hitch I keep in this one. Oh, another thing, there's Velcro on here, so this will stick in place. That was really smart. Almost forgot, there's 2 cup holders for the passenger back here too. Sometimes when I'm driving, I'll put stuff back here and forget where I put it because I forget there's cup holders back here. This armrest is interesting. You would think it opens on both sides, but no, it only opens on the driver's side. I enjoy keeping my napkins in there and then forgetting where I kept my napkins at. I like the glove box. There's probably a shock on it, so it moves down slowly. I noticed on some modern cars there's no shock, so the glove box just like slams open. It's got plenty of room in here. I like to be minimalist, so you can see there's not a lot in here. Bluetooth navigation. This head unit is great. Stark contrast between my FRS. My FRS head unit was a piece of crap, and then this thing's been a joy to use. Touch screen. And then navigation. It's funny, when I bought this car, all the like saved maps were all in Hawaii, so this is not automatic climate control, but I am old school, so I actually prefer this setup. I know in the FRS On my particular one, it was like by temp, and that was like annoying as shit because like it never really worked the way I wanted it. So yeah, I much prefer this setup. Yeah, power windows, power door locks, and there's a factory USB and aux, and then 2 power outlets. Yeah, you have to close the access cab first, or else. Unfortunately, this happens a lot. Someone will close the front door and do that. So some interesting stuff on this side. Factory fog lights, which I really like. Traction control. I actually treat this truck with a lot of respect, so I've never really played with no traction control. Another thing that's really cool, there's this outlet for the power outlet in the bed. So let's go check out the truck bed. All right, here we are together in bed. So this truck comes factory with these rails, and this rail system is great. I actually bought the OEM. These are called heel hooks or heels, something like that. But you can unratchet these and move these guys through the rail system, and this helps out a ton because I'm always carrying weirdo shaped stuff. There's 2 D-rings in the bed, and then you can see there's also 2 factory hooks back there. One thing cool about the 15, I think this was the last year that they had extra storage cubbies. I have to recheck, but I think one of these got deleted if you bought a 16 Tacoma. And these are super useful too, because I keep... I did keep tie downs in there. And then in this little one, I keep the elastic straps. We saw that AC outlet earlier, and this guy is actually a power outlet. So if you wanted to make toast or something, or dry your hair, or do something else with a 12-volt power outlet, you can do it in this truck. Factory rear view camera, so when you shift into reverse, it automatically displays the backup camera on the nav screen. One other cool feature, if you see the gas gauge or the gas symbol has an arrow that way, so it reminds you that the fuel door is on that side. I forget all the time. So yeah, let's check this out. Backup camera, and then backup lines. This thing's also got 2 sunglass holders. And I don't ever really wear sunglasses, so that's probably the first time I've opened those 2. This guy's also got extendo sun visors. And if I want to see how my makeup looks, I'll open this. And luckily there's a light. So one thing particularly unique about the XRunner is actually this subwoofer. I bet you in the brochure there's some fancy name for this subwoofer with this big X on it. But this guy's fun. There's a on, so the subwoofer's on, and then also there's a light on, so that means the night light goes on plus the subwoofer in case the passengers back here get scared at night. Alright, why don't we check out the chassis and some of its underpinnings. So the XRunner comes factory with 18s. These are the factory tires, 255, 45, 18. 140 tread wear, so no wonder my tires are getting close already. Comes with a full-size spare, which you probably already know, but it's funny, my dad's got this quirk, he won't ever buy a car unless it has a full-size spare. Why do they call an XRunner an XRunner? It's for this X brace. So this brace connects the frame on both sides Yeah, it connects the frame on both sides, just in an X. And if you noticed, I have the Kurt hitch, and I forget what class this is, but it's the strongest hitch that Kurt makes. And it's hilarious because I really bought this hitch to actually tow stuff. Oh, and then the Kurt harness also. But it ends up that because this hitch connects both sides of the frame together, because otherwise the frame would there'd be this big opening for the frame, that it actually acted as like a frame brace, and it really changed the driving dynamic of this truck, which was hilarious because this was for function only. Oh, and then also if you guys have a XRunner, this is not particularly for the XRunner, it's just for 15 Tacoma, and so yeah, the Kurt tow hitch completely clears the X brace. I lucked out on that one. This guy also comes factory with sport suspensions, so Toyota Bilstein shocks. These leaf springs are probably unique to the XRunner also. So you guys probably already know I have StopTech big brakes on this truck. There's a size comparison with my hand. So originally this truck came with extremely undersized brakes. It was a single piston, and like the brake was pretty much as big as my Corolla. When I would be close to missing an off-ramp exit, and I'd have to brake hard and then brake down the off-ramp, and then after I'd get to my exit, you could smell the brakes. So, you know, besides me just being a dum-dum, these actually were really necessary. I think this truck should have come factory with big brakes. So this is kind of sort of the StopTech big brake kit for this truck. These rotors I ended up getting from a friend. I was at his warehouse, and he had a bunch of old Scion big brake kits, and these rotors ended up fitting up this bolt pattern plus this hub bore. So I was like, well, maybe I can piece together a big brake kit. The calipers that came with this rotor I still have, but they don't work with the truck, and I'll show you why in a second. I think the original big brake kit these rotors came off of were probably out of the last generation TC or Scion XB. So StopTech makes a few different style calipers. I know the ST40 and ST41 were the calipers I needed for this truck. So I forget which one this is, but this guy slides over two studs right here, whereas the 40 or 41 actually has like mounting ears that mount to the factory position. So this caliper I actually got secondhand off eBay. They're actually for a Porsche 911. I forget what year, but they were the correct ST40 or 41 calipers. And I bought the factory StopTech big brake kit mounting brackets separately. And because these rotors are actually bigger in diameter than the factory XRunner StopTech kit, I had to, you can see these washers, I had to space the caliper out this way and then out towards the center of the car to fit this larger rotor. I also have the StopTech stainless line kit on this truck. So I lucked out. The brake bias is actually pretty much the same on the truck. The car doesn't like dive or squat or whatever with the brakes. I've towed a fair amount with this truck. I've driven it hard. And yeah, the brake bias feels good. They take a little bit because to warm up the compound, like on a cold day, you gotta warm them up. Otherwise, yeah, I've been happy with this StopTech kit. And then luckily the wheels fit over this entire assembly. I imagine if you had like some 16 Steelies on a base model Tacoma, it would not clear that caliper. You can see the clearance is tight. So other interesting XRunner stuff you may or may not know, this is the factory ground effects kit that you get with an XRunner. Fun fact, somebody hit the truck or sideswiped the truck right there when it was parked on the street and actually destroyed this fender flare. But when I ordered this fender flare from the Toyota dealer using my VIN number, it actually came pre-painted, so I thought that was kind of interesting. The Toyota dealer said this truck factory does not come with a skid plate, but if you know that a like TRD package or a different model 15 Tacoma comes with a skid plate, I'd like to add one, so let me know in the comments. So yeah, the shop truck's been really useful. I've towed another person's trailer with an IS300 on the back of it. You can legally rent a full-size U-Haul trailer if you're towing a Corolla, and we've done that a handful of times with this truck. It's got the same V6 as all the other Tacomas, so it's definitely got like the horsepower to tow. The only issues that I've been hearing is that because it doesn't have all the like TRD package Tacoma stuff, so like 6-lug, probably heavier leaf spring pack, I assume probably a bigger diff and maybe even a bigger driveline, that it's like really harder on this truck to tow, but I mean, horsepower wise, like this guy kind of pretty much does fine. The power band is like, I've had someone describe it to me like an old man, like you really got to get up to speed, and when I got a trailer behind this thing, it's kind of the same. It doesn't really run out of breath. I'm like, we've all been pretty happy towing with this truck. So yeah, this guy's done us well. Somebody else can chime in. I'm curious if the front rear sway bars are this thick on an XRunner, or every Tacoma gets these big of a sway bar. There's actually a lot of factory TRD options for this truck, like a short shifter and actually a factory TRD catback exhaust for this truck, but modifying is a slippery slope for me, so it's lucky I've had a lot of self-control in not modifying this truck. One thing I do like is reliability mods, and then that's in tandem with getting this truck ready to tow. So the Tacoma has a tow package, which a few things it includes: a bigger battery, and then one other thing it includes is a factory oil cooler. So you can only get a factory oil cooler if you buy a Tacoma with the towing package, but luckily there's some savvy people on eBay who will sell a oil cooler retrofit kit if you have any of these 4-liter V6s. So I highly recommend this. So there's a different thermostat, a different like thermostat housing, so this entire piece is different, 2 lines, and then of course the heat exchanger, and all this is factory Toyota parts. I think you can also get a factory TRD intake for this truck, but again, slippery slope. That's my overview for the Autohaus shop truck, this 2015 Toyota Tacoma XRunner. Let me know what you guys think. Did I miss something? Do you want to see something else on the truck? Maybe I'll do burnouts and donuts in this truck if enough people ask for it. Who knows? This was supposed to be my daily driver, and this was my daily driver for a long time, but now that my commute is a lot longer, I had to get something a lot more fuel efficient. So EPA estimated this truck's supposed to get 21 city, 25 highway. I would typically average between 16 and 18 combined, and I have fun in the truck, but I don't like wring out the truck everywhere, so I was pretty much nowhere close to the EPA estimated miles per gallon. This truck also will take a minimum of 87, but I always pumped 91 because it seemed like every time I ran 87 in this truck, especially on cold first starts, it would like, you could feel the truck like hesitate, like try to find, the right like operating strategy for the octane of fuel in this thing. But yeah, once I just ran 91, like all those problems got solved. Like cold start was better, the truck ran faster, like I got more power. 91, you think you'd get more fuel economy, but I guess it's maybe the way I drive, which I don't think is that aggressive. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If I missed something, let me know. If you want to see more about this truck, want to see me do stuff with this truck, let me know. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see me do more car reviews, reviews of other people's cars, let me know. Somebody suggested that because we actually have a shop and a lift, it'd be interesting to do reviews in here. So yeah, let me know, you guys. Thanks again.